time. Yes, it is. And when you get next to me, you make my heart beat fast.
Thank you guys for everybody that sent me all those great messages. Thank you.
I don't feel like anyone believes that.
Come here, you sit down there, arms come up, and you move your mouth with your...
Let me find that. That's
Oh, when your hospital room is lit. Hey guys, today is, what's today? 20th. Today is May 20th, 2017. I am at St. Mary's Hospital. I have had a hysterectomy, and I am trying to recover. It's not that easy. Not as easy as I thought it was going to be. This is what it's looking like so far. They just took the catheter out. I didn't let you guys see that because it's pretty disgusting. But this is my room. Okay.
Feet. Your head, and you won't pull, okay? Move it one little bit, like this, all the way to there you go. Alright. Ready? Use your air. Good job. There we go. Straighten it up. Okay. Don't worry about your gown. We'll fix that right now.
Come on this side, sis.
Stay there for a bit. Let's give it a stop. If it does or anything. Use this and switch a little bit, okay? Now when you're ready.
There's like a piece of meat.
Your cup.
Like they cut it or something.
You're gonna feel kind of running from your throat, sore, and kind of like a bit tight because it had that tube in there, you know.
Yeah,
They
it
put
feels like
your-
when they
your
pull it
seat.
out, like there's like a piece of meat, like they
Yeah.
cut it or something. Like, I gotta feel it hanging.
I'll look right now and see. I'm just pushing. You're gonna come face me, okay?
Do you want me to stand or just
Let me know
sit?
when you're ready. Well, you know, you wanna stand and then sit, okay? Let me put the shirt on. Ready? It's okay, it's okay.
Oh, it's okay. I guess I'll put this.
Don't move fast, don't move fast.
I'm at 2. I'm gonna sit on it.
Do me a favor, sister, you wanna take this all out of here? I think it's not what I do.
Where are you at?
And stand under the rail.
I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up.
There. That's okay. Here. Clean your stomach. Pretty good. You did good. I'll lean back, okay? Lean back there. She has ice in there?
Ice? No, it.
Ice? No, just ice first to kind of.
Oh.
No. Alright, let me bring you ice. Okay?
Thank you guys for everybody that sent me all those great messages. Thank you.
And I don't feel like anyone believes that.
The bull, come here. You know, you sit down there, arms come up, and you move your mouth.
Let me find out. That's gonna help you.
When your hospital room is lit.
She's staring me down, so I figured that I told her who I am. But it don't matter. Forever. And if the walls can't hold us out together, we were born to live in high and breaking free. I ain't fake, can't shade, cause my heart is a tender.
Calling so damn late for you to say I'm tripping, just a homie from upstate. Said it's just a homie, don't.
This Gomp is on. I miss you, Jenny. Me and you is like peas and carrots. There you go, Dad. Get that bed. There you go. Oh, no. Now lay that part. Welcome back to part 2 of Where Have I Been. It's amazing how just talking about everything makes you feel so much better. I didn't do all of this in one day just because it's draining. Mentally, physically, emotionally, it drains me. I didn't plan on doing that video yesterday, to be honest. I was laying in the bed and I was just really going through it, to be honest, and I just grabbed the camera. Well, I was laying in the bed and to be honest with you, I was just crying and crying and crying and crying, and I just felt like, what can I do? Nothing, because I'm healing from this surgery. I'm really not supposed to be driving too much under all this medication. My son, he's at his cousin's house and everyone was gone, and I I was looking through my phone. Have you ever just had so many people, so many friends, so many family members, but you just feel so alone? You really just didn't have, you don't have anyone to talk to, but you have a lot of people to talk to, but you really just feel like, who can I call? Who can I talk to? Because you really feel like no one really understands. That's how it was. I just felt like, who? Like, no one. All I just wanted to do was cry, and I'm tired of crying. Like, my contacts like really keep drying out, and I can't keep just buying them, like, seriously. And I looked over and I just seen my camera case, and I have all these camera stands everywhere, and I said, you know what, it's time to just let it out. So I literally just rolled out of bed and I grabbed that camera and I just let it out. Did I plan on posting it? I did, but I didn't. It really wasn't a plan. I hadn't brushed my teeth. I hadn't did my hair. I just rolled out of bed and I just did it. And a lot of it just came out. I just did it. I didn't know what was going to come out. I didn't know what I was going to say. I just let my heart out. And so here's part 2. And part 2 is, I'm going to just let it out again. You know, so I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. Someone once told me, if you want your story to be told, you better tell it for someone else does. Because there's a few sides of a story. There's one person's side, there's another person's side, there's the truth, and then there's your side. So I'm going to tell all the sides. I'm going to tell my side, which is the truth, and I don't really care about everyone else's side of the story because I lived it. And I'm not going to say any names because it's not important. What's only important is for me just to get this out so that I can move on with my life. Because in order for me to be free, in order for my spirit to be free, in order for me to be happy in life, I gotta get it out. And no, it's not anyone's business, and no, I'm not doing it to hurt anyone. I'm doing it because I know that there's so many other people in the world that has gone through things that they've never told anyone, that they've never spoke up about. And I know I'm not the only one in the world that has gone through this. So, here it is. My life is like an onion. Like, you know how you have that really rough layer, that loud, rough layer that you have to peel off and you have to throw in the trash? That's like, that was the first very beginning of my life. It was very loud, very rough. And at 30 years old now, I've pushed so much of it in the back of my mind that I don't even remember a lot of it until I talk about it. I don't remember much of my childhood because I think I chose to just forget. I haven't seen a picture of me as a baby. I don't know what I look like. Anything younger than probably maybe like 7, I want to say. Someone asked me from my part 1 video, why do you think you were so depressed? What got you to this point in your life? Faking the funk. I was taught at a young age to be fake. I was taught at a young age to pretend that everything was okay. I was taught at a young age that you better put your clothes on and go outside and be a happy family. You better put your clothes on and go to church and sing in the choir and be an usher and keep your mouth closed. You better... What goes on in this house stays in this house. You know, the typical rules. As a child, I grew up in the house, and sometimes it was great, but most of the time, I get chills. Most of the time, it was hell. I can't tell you when it started. I can't tell you why it started. I can't tell you what I did wrong at the beginning, the reason why. All I know was I was a child. And there's nothing in this world that a child can do. Nothing. There's nothing that a child can do to ever, you can tell me, there's nothing you can tell me. There's no excuse. There's no reason that will ever explain the things that I've been through. I was beat constantly. I was made to exercise constantly. And that may seem like, oh, exercising, that's nothing. I was made out to be a liar, a thief, a manipulator, a hoe, a whore, a slut. Was I these things? No. Did I lie as a child? Yes. Did I steal as a child? Yes. Did I manipulate? Yes. Why? Because of the things that I was going through. I lived in a beautiful home. I went to an amazing church. But that's all people seen. Because we had everything we had, and we looked like the perfect family. We were this beautiful picture of what was so perfect that no one seen what was on the inside of this house. No one knew what was going on behind these closed doors. No one seen the abuse that I was enduring on a daily basis. I was being constantly locked outside in the backyard. At one point in time, I remember when this woman took dog shit and was about to make me eat it for no reason, just because she could. She would tell me to run up and down the stairs for hours on end, push-ups for hours on end, sit-ups, and all type of exercises for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, until I just couldn't anymore. And even when I couldn't, I had to keep going. Even if I was going to throw up, she would say, if you throw up or if you pass out, when you wake up, you're going to keep going. If you throw up, you're going to eat it. And you're going to keep going. I never could understand why she hated me so much. I never understood as a child what I did to her that made her hate me. Like, how can you hate a child so much? A child, how? I went to public school where there was 9th and 10th graders wearing regular clothes. High school is hard. You know high school's hard. High school is hard. Dealing with bullies, dealing with just your everyday, oh, she's ugly, and your hair and your shoes and just everyday things in school that you have to deal with back in the day. Even these days it's hard just to go to school, you know. But I was made to wear a uniform. You know, and not your average uniform. I'm talking about, you know, those blue dresses that have like the V right here. I need you guys to understand what I'm talking about when I say I had to wear a uniform to public school. And this is 9th and 10th graders. I mean 9th through 12th graders. A uniform. A blue dress that has that V right here, you know. And it has that little waistband, and then it's like long and it's like plaited. Is that what it's called? Whatever it's called. And I had to wear the little white collared shirts underneath, and I had to wear some stockings and some little black heels. Yeah, that's what I wore to high school. To a public high school at that. At one point in time, I was wearing those to high school. Every day, I was wearing this. Humiliated. Just being humiliated. I was sneaking clothes underneath. I was trying to find ways to just wear regular clothes. I was putting it underneath the uniform. It got to a point where she was checking me. I had to lift my uniform up. And I would stand there and I would lift it up. And she would find that I had clothes and I would get beat. So I got to a point where I was sneaking in my backpack. And she would check my backpack. Then I couldn't wear a backpack to school anymore. So I had, like, back in the day you had those binders, you know, that you zip like this. So I started sneaking them in my binder because I couldn't take a backpack anymore. So I started sneaking clothes in my binder, and then I couldn't do that anymore. So got to a point where my friends would feel bad for me, so they would sneak clothes to school for me. I would change when I got to school, but this woman knew everyone. So people would snitch, people would tell. I would get beat every day when I got home. I was just not allowed to do nothing, you know, like it was crazy. Like, I understand that I did make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? As a child, I made the same mistakes any other child would make. I very seldom got in trouble in school. My grades were awesome. I mean, I wasn't a straight A student, you know what I'm saying? But I was a pretty good A, B student. I wasn't allowed to bring home a C or a D or an F because I lived in too much fear to do that. I would go to, when we went to people's houses, I was too afraid to do anything. We sat there. We always had great manners. We never did anything. We go to church on Sundays. We went to Bible study, and, you know, we were ushers. We were in the choir. You know, people looked at us as we were these perfect children, and we never did anything wrong, you know, but I was the only person. Let me go back. I was the only child in this house that was not hers. She had 2 other children, a daughter and a son. Those were her children. She never laid a hand on her daughter. I don't even remember her so much as even, you know, I never even remember a pinch or anything. Her son, he got in trouble, you know, here and there, doing average boy shit, you know. I remember certain little things he did get in trouble for, but never to the extent of me, ever. And I would never understand, like, why does she hate me? What is it? I remember I accidentally locked the keys in the car one day. She She woke us up. She's like, who locked the keys in the car? And the only thing I could remember was I took the groceries out of the car and I left the keys in the front seat. And my brother said, she did it. I just remember she kicked me so hard. She kicked me so hard that I flew back on the couch. I couldn't even breathe. She just walked out and she went to work. I remember exercising for so long one night that she fell asleep. And I sat there and I watched her sleep as I just exercised for hours. And I kept thinking to myself, why? Why do you hate me? And I would always watch her. And I would always think to myself, like, when is she gonna let me stop? When is enough gonna be enough? I remember getting ready to go to Six Flags one day, or Knoxbury Farm, or some theme park. And I wasn't allowed to go. I was locked in the backyard, given a sack lunch. I was told I had to clean the backyard until they got home from the theme park. They left early that morning. They got home late that night. I wasn't there because I ran away. I constantly always tried to run away. I remember crying out for help so many times to so many people, and so many people tried to help me. But it just made things worse every single time I came back. Every time. Every single time I came back, it was worse and worse and worse. I remember one time, I told my teacher everything that happened. Everything that was going on in my house, I told her. And she tried to help me. She told me she was gonna get me out of there. Valentine's Day was coming around. And I just remember having nothing to give her because I couldn't. So I remember I stole some candy from my grandmother because I wanted to tell my teacher thank you, because she wanted to help me so bad. Those were the times I stole. Those were the times I lied. I've had my hair cut off because I wore it in a ponytail to school. I've been choked out, slapped around, told I was nothing, I was gonna be nothing. These are things I endured on a daily basis, if not every other day. This is the life I lived as a child. And no one knew. But as a child, I still had to get up. Every day, I got up. I put my clothes on. I took a shower. I did my hair. And I walked outside and I went to school. I still did my schoolwork. I still would come home. I would take care of my sister. I would cook dinner. I would clean the house. I would do their laundry. I would make sure the house is right. I would still do everything I needed to do. Go to church on Sunday like nothing. I was taught from a young age to pretend. I was taught from a young age to pretend like everything was okay. I was taught from a young age to fake it till you make it. So, how did I get here? I was taught. I was taught this way. I was brought up to just pretend like you're okay. I was taught that you don't let people know what's up. This woman took everything I had. She took my childhood. She took my being. She took my happiness. She took my sanity. She took my trust. She took my mind. I am still healing. But you know what? I'm here and I made it. And you didn't break me. Because you know what? I take it all back. Because you know why? Because I live for him. Because this little boy, he tells me all the time how he feels, what he thinks. He tells me what's going on in his mind. I never let him think that if something's wrong, that he can't express himself, that he can't express his emotions, that he can't understand what is going on in his mind mentally. I never want him to fake it until he makes it. I just want him to make it. I want him to succeed. I want him to always understand that. Never get up in the morning and feel like I gotta do this. I gotta put on these clothes and I gotta do my hair and I gotta go to work because I have to fake it until I make it. No. If you feel a certain type of way, son, come tell mom. If you want to talk to mommy, come talk to mommy. If mommy made you feel some type of way, come tell me. If you want to ask mommy why, ask me why. Because kids need to understand why they feel the way they feel. Why did mommy whoop me? Mommy, why am I in trouble? Why? Because you did this. I'm whooping you for this reason. Not that I whoop my son, because trust. Me and my son, we have communication. Anyone that has ever ran into him will tell you that he is amazing. Not because I beat him every day. Not because I spank him and whoop him and pop him. But because I communicate with him. Because I let him know that he is loved and I hug him every day. Because I learned that it's okay to be affectionate. I was never even allowed in her bedroom. I never crossed the doors. The door. I never crossed it. I never crossed the door. I literally, when we spoke to each other, I stayed at the door. I never crossed into her bedroom. If I did, it was only when she was gone out of the house, and even then I got chills because I felt I lived in so much fear of her. I am a person that made it. You know what I'm saying? I lived every day. I'm gonna stop saying I lived every day in abuse, because she didn't abuse me every day. But it was almost every other day. But I lived it. And I made it. You know what I'm saying? I made it. And I'm happy. Because you know why? Because I lived through it. Through it all. I'm here. And I'm happy. And you didn't break me, lady. I'm good. I made it. And never down. I never understood until right now. You didn't break me. These tears aren't because I'm hurting. These tears aren't because I'm sad. These tears, it's because I made it. You know, I'm here, I'm healing. I'm 30 and I'm thriving. Every day, I still chose to live. I lived. And I'm still living. I ran away at 16, finally. I said, I can't do it anymore. I can't. I can't. I couldn't take it anymore. I thought I was gonna get on here and tell you guys everything I've been through. But it's not important. It's not even important for me to tell. It's just important to let you guys know that there is healing in speaking your truth. There's healing in just letting it out. There's healing in just breathing. It feels so good. Because you know what? In all the years I was growing up as a child, I wanted to die. Every day I wanted to kill myself. Every day I looked at my friends and their families and I was jealous because I was hurting. Every day I went to church and I looked at my friends and they got to go home with their families and I knew what I was going home to. I looked cute and I looked nice and I would go home and all that would be snatched off. I would go home and I wouldn't be allowed to have anything to eat or drink. Things were being measured in the kitchen where I couldn't eat any food or have anything to drink. People would come over and I had to pretend like it was okay again. I was allowed to play with their kids and then they would leave and I was again this prisoner. There were great times in this house, don't get me wrong, where I was able to be alive and be a kid. But sometimes I don't remember because I live so much hell that it's not there, you know? But I don't choose to live my life in my past anymore. I don't choose to dwell. I don't put this out there for the world to see because I want everyone to know my story and I want sympathy. It's because I'm grown, first of all. And I'm not living my life in secret because my story was never told. I heard so much about my life from other people and what everyone thought happened to me. And man, when you left at 16, I never seen you again, but this is what I heard happened and this is what I thought happened. But it doesn't matter because I know what happened. I know what was going on in the house. I know what was going on in that house. I know that I very seldom got whooped with a belt. That I have jokes in the family about the scars on my back. That they look like Nike signs because I was beat with extension cords. I worked. When I was young, I was putting on suits and going to the office because I was homeschooled. Because I wasn't allowed to go to public school anymore. I ate lunch in the bathroom because I was tired of being bullied because I had to wear a uniform to school and because I wasn't allowed to do my hair anymore in the mornings, except on Sunday when I had to go to church, of course, because we don't want the pastor to see what's going on in this house. I was not allowed to sleep, sometimes for days, because I would have to stay up and write standards. 5,000, 6,000 standards. And if I would write the standards and cheat and write them, like I, will, she would rip them up. And I would have to do them again. I couldn't go to school the next day if they weren't done. I don't understand how people treat their children this way. I wasn't hers, that's probably why. But I was still a child. I was somebody's child. I was someone's child. I didn't understand how people didn't know what was going on. How no one helped me. As I grew up, I just learned how to deal with it. Every day I just still put on my clothes and I was still just cute. I was still this business child. Because I wasn't a businesswoman, although I wore a suit like I was. Although I was homeschooled and ran a financial company, I could fix your credit and sell you a house at 13 like no other. Because I was not a child. Because I couldn't be one. Only time I could be a child is when people were around so that I could sell it. I should have been an actress because I was amazing at it. I acted like everything was great. My entire life I put on this amazing face. I always had to pretend every day like everything was great. I was amazing at it. I almost thought I should get an award. Sometimes I would go in my room and I would pretend. I would be in front of the mirror and pretend I was an actress and try to get my award, and the best award goes to, and I would cry because I would think that I couldn't be anything in life because of her. I thought that that was the only life I was gonna live forever. I wasn't gonna be anything. But I am, because I'm something. I've hurt a lot of people in my life because I was hurting and because I didn't trust, and because I didn't know how to love. I didn't know how to let go. I didn't know that I was hurting. I didn't know that I was pretending and faking, and I didn't know that I had all this in me. So I forgive you, because hurt people, and I don't want to hurt people. I have so much love and happiness in me. I just want to be happy. And one day my son is gonna grow up and he's gonna see these videos. And I just want him to be proud of his mother. And I want him to know that I will do anything for you, son. I do this for you. Because I love you. I love you, son. And I never want you to hurt. I want you to be the best man that you could be. Because I am going to be the best woman that I could be. The best mother that I could be. The best sister. The best auntie. The best daughter. That I can be from here on out. Make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe, because I have so much in store for you guys. So much, so many things in store. Make sure you hit that alert button so that you can be the first to get the alert when I upload my next video. From here on out, I will be vlogging. I will be doing Reviews. Yes, I will get back to doing my wig reviews. So many people have asked me already, are you gonna go back to doing wig reviews? Maybe not wig reviews, but hair reviews definitely, because everyone knows I love hair. Everyone knows that I love. Hi, my name is Q, and I would like to introduce the new me, the happy me.
Hey Mom, love you, and I hope you're going to have a good day today. Bye.